Hi everyone, it's Ange here. Thank you for tuning in to Starlight Wellness, and my name is Ange, and I am a certified astrologer, and I'm going to be doing a card reading as well today for everybody. So what's going on? As a wellness coach, a spiritual coach, an astrologer, and an energy reader, a card reader, I like to look at the patterns that are going on from a bigger picture. So this February 2019, we have a lot of energy about love coming in and this divine balance between divine masculine and feminine. So I was very guided to make a love reading today and to see where the energies are at for the collective. I know I was looking online a lot and there was a lot of videos, and a lot of the videos right now are kind of delayed. A lot of the card readers that are talking about twin flames or soulmates and love, they're not really posting very much right now. So I felt really guided to do it. I also have my Mercury, the planet Mercury of communication, that just moved into Aquarius. And my planet, Mercury, is in Aquarius. So I feel very guided to express something and to really follow into that role. I also have my sun sign, which is a cusp between Aquarius and Pisces. So I have a lot of that sun energy working through me right now, that Mercury energy working through me right now. So I felt very guided to do it, and I felt it would be kind of like a special going on. So these are going to be the collective energies. After this, I'm going to be doing each particular sign. So Pisces, like going through the whole Zodiac for everybody for love. So these readings are going to be very specific to a very high level love frequency for twin flames, soulmates. Even if you're in separation, it might apply to you because it's about the collective energy and how it's playing out right now. So I'm going to just burn here this beautiful incense that's called love to set the tone and to really get into a divine loving frequency for everybody. So I'm going to be doing this reading right now, and thank you for all of you who are tuning in. So what I'm going to have two lines. The first line is going to be divine feminine. The second is going to be divine masculine. It's going to be emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental bodies and how that's playing out. And then the middle will be what's playing in between and the collective energy to heal between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So I'm asking Holy Father, Holy Mother God, Holy Spirit, or Great Spirit, as some people call it. And in Yeshua's name, for divine, okay, this one wanted to come out already. Whoa. So it's the Knight of Pentacles there. I didn't finish the clearing, but this one wanted to come out. So there is some offering of abundance, some offering of grounding something into physical reality because the pentacles represent the earth. So that's beautiful. So I'm asking for the divine feminine and the divine masculine right now. The energies for their mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Thank you. So okay, we got a few cards here. So we have, these are going to be for the divine feminine. So we got the first card there, which is, did I say mental, emotional, physical, spiritual? I guess that's what I'm going to do. So mental, body, the feminine is the Page of Pentacles. The physical, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. So the physical body, she is strength. beautiful. Okay, she's embodying, and then emotional, she is the Lovers card, which is the major arcana, which is very beautiful. All right, guys, so that's really telling us where the divine feminine is at. She is in strength, which is a major arcana. She is in the Lovers card, which is number 6, and that represents, you know, this complete balance, this reset that's happening astrologically. We have all the moon cycles at 0 degrees or at 6 degrees in every sign for the next 2-3 months, and that started back in December. And that means there's a 0 reset point. So each moon cycle is at 0 and then it's at 6. So we have the 6th card here with the feminine. So she's really embodying that energy of the reset into a complete balance between herself, in her masculine and feminine, in her emotional body. So what about her? So that's the mental, physical, emotional, spiritual body. What's going on with the spiritual body of the divine feminine? See what's going on here. Ooh, that one wanted to come out. Ooh, Tower. There's a Tower. That's very interesting. So in the spiritual body, there's a complete like collapse of something. It's possible that, you know, you can look at it in 2 ways. She's maybe even releasing an old relationship, an old pattern in her relationships. I'm getting the sense that it's a pattern that she's releasing. So she may have released codependency. She may have released some really deep healing patterns in her spiritual soul, in her subconscious mind. So that's actually really good. Spiritually, it might feel like she's kind of had this complete eruption in her life, but it's now allowing her to align. I'm going to ask for a clarifying card for that later, but let's go to the masculine. Let's go to the masculine. So the mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, Holy Spirit. What is going on with the divine masculine? The mental body. Oh, I think that one wants to come out and this one wants to come out. So that's the mental. Wow. Star card. The star represents like wishes fulfilled. So there's something going on with the masculine in his mental body that he feels very aligned to the stars. He feels that there's some wish that he has been fulfilled in his mental, what's happening in his thoughts. It's a very good card. It's a very benevolent card. Let's go to the mental, physical. The physical for the masculine, the High Priestess. We're getting a lot of major arcanas, guys. A lot of major arcanas with this reading. So this is meaning that, yeah, like it's a very particular time in the stars. So his physical, he's the Hermit. It's interesting that that came up in my collective reading for the eclipses, which I will be uploading soon as well. And lastly, his spiritual. What's going on, Holy Spirit, in his spiritual? In his spiritual. What's going on here? Oh, looks like that one here. Judgment. Wow. We are getting so many major arcanas, and most of the cards are upright. So thank you. What I'm seeing for the masculine, okay, in his mental body, he has had feeling like he's completely vulnerable. He's allowing himself to be vulnerable. He's allowing himself to align to love again in his vulnerability, and that's going to fulfill his wishes. And so he's feeling very mentally secure about that. In his physical body, he has some secrets. He's keeping a lot to himself. He's keeping a lot of wisdom, and he's observing. So physically, he might be just observing the feminine in some way. He might be keeping things in. If you're not with your union or in a partnership right now, and you're just looking at the balance between masculine and feminine, the masculine in his physical body is observing the feminine, observing and keeping that secret a bit. So his emotional, he's, again, the hermit is all about inner reflection, inner work, going on a journey alone. A lot of the times that means that masculine is kind of enlightening himself through this secretive kind of behavior. He's acting secretive. He's doing things kind of behind the scenes. He might not be contacting the feminine. And he's, emotionally doing a lot of inner work. And it's probably very useful that he's doing that, because 2018 was the year where the divine feminine was kind of walking into her purpose and learning a lot of these difficult lessons. And so 2019 is kind of the time where the divine masculine is going to be doing that. So it looks like that's what he's doing, a lot of inner reflection emotionally. And then finally, spiritually, there is judgment. And it's interesting that the divine feminine has the Tower card in her spiritual, and the divine masculine has judgment. So what that means is that there is a complete reset spiritually for the masculine and feminine embodiment in the spiritual realm. It's come to an end point, come to a judgment point. Spiritually, the divine masculine knows now completely that, this is a divine union. It is coming from God. It is not something that is supposed to be taken lightly. It is a very loving energy. And so the divine feminine is kind of just sitting there spiritually and saying, yeah, 2018, I had this happening. 2018 was the Tower for me. And now you're going to see why this happened. And it's not for the masculine to feel guilty or the divine feminine to have codependency, but it's really about knowing that this is a very loving union, and spiritually, like, completely something that is not supposed to be taken lightly. It is something that requires a lot of inner reflection. It requires this divine intuition. Okay. It requires, this wish fulfilled, the alignment of your thoughts, the alignment to love. That's what I think the divine masculine is doing. The divine feminine is really focusing on her strength, and she's she has the Page of Pentacles, which means she's really working on some sort of abundance for herself, some sort of career, some sort of job. She's had this power in her spiritual. She is, emotionally feeling that the divine union within herself has come to a complete harmony and reset. And so now she's working on her craft. She's working on that craft to really bring something to the world, offering something new. She's kind of like new at this, or she's just starting something new. So let's see what else is going on with the energies for the masculine and the feminine. Oh, and I forgot to see what's on the bottom of the deck. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Wands. And that is kind of like an energy that tells us that there is this fiery kind of reset, and this kind of like new love. There's a new approach to love. There is a page is something like learning. He's just starting, or she's just starting. And the wands represent passion and a lot of that energy that is looking at growing the relationship, growing the spark. And so there's that new love coming through. It's funny, I just saw 144 on my, anyway. So that really means that there is this kind of like a reset, which is what the astrology is saying. So there's nothing new about that. We can all understand. And we're having this reset between feminine and masculine happening. And it's kind of like a new love, this new kind of way to approach the relationship, a new way to really embody love. So let's take a look at the romance angels here, what they have to say. Clear. Whoa, trust. Okay, this one just fell out. This situation is calling for you to have faith. You know, and I think that can go for everything in our lives, is really about having faith and trust in our relationships, having faith and trust in our healing journey, having faith in what's going to happen for us. And it's beautiful. So that's kind of like, I'm going to keep that in the middle for both masculine and feminine. It's really a time to trust. So what are the messages for the divine feminine, please? Divine feminine, the cherubim, the angelic cherubims, you know, the beautiful angelic. This is a beautiful card set. I love it. It's really about romance and all that kind of stuff. So take a look. See what the divine feminine has. What is the energy behind the tower? Yeah, let's get some information about the tower. Okay, it's about children. Your love life is being affected by children. All right, divine feminine. So this tower card, I just asked for some more clarifier for this tower card, and something about children. So spiritually, there, you know, you might feel kind of like you want children. Maybe there's a divorce happening right now for you, and children are causing a lot of this. Not that the children are causing the problem, but there's you have to take into consideration the children and their well-being. And spiritually, you know, you are feeling maybe like everything has fallen apart. And so there is a break, there is a split, there is, you know, a divorce that happened, and you have to take care of your children. You might be trying to start a career, and you might be like, how do I do this if I need to travel? How do I do this if I have children with me? I have to take into consideration the children. And so the feminine is really focused on strength. Okay, she's being strong about this, but she is really looking at the importance of children, and that kind of like, you know, brought her to a point where she realized the children must come first. And, you know, the children must be in a happy relationship, in a happy home, in a happy environment as well. And so the feminine is really looking at the importance of children. I'm seeing dogs here as well. So she's looking at the importance. She doesn't have children. There can be something about pets that is, you know, creating some extra kind of heaviness for her spiritually. So let's take a look in the masculine. What does the judgment card here say for the masculine? The judgment card for the masculine. Please have it clear this one. All right. Let your friends help you. Judgment. Okay, what does that mean? Ask for and accept support from others. So the divine masculine is realizing, I'm getting the sense that he's realizing that he really needs to encircle himself with people that are very supportive of his process right now. So, you know, he's being judged, maybe. He feels he's being judged about his relationship. Maybe there was a divorce and there had to be some sort of split in your relationship, and he's feeling very judged. So he's being guided, okay, by the divine to receive help, allow himself to receive help, allow himself to really embody receiving from others. Maybe he was resistant to receiving. So now he's being kind of like guided to learn how to receive help again. And, you know, if you're a divine masculine, I would definitely suggest for you to allow yourself to receive help from others at this time, because you're being guided that you're going to be supported. And make sure that it's a good circle. Make sure that, because I'm getting the sense, because it's the Judgment card, you might be really changing your social circle. You might be changing who are the people that you find are supportive, and you're learning who like which people you can actually receive support from. And so this is what's happening here. There is a kind of like an energy where he's really learning to receive help from others again, rather than doing everything himself. So that's what's happening with him spiritually. The feminine, there's the children card. I really want to get a little bit more guidance about the divine feminine with the children and the Tower card, and we'll see where that goes. Let me see which card I'm going to pull. I'm going to pull the Indigo Angels here. Okay, the Indigo Angels. Clear. Asking in the highest greatest good. Holy Mother God. What is the divine feminine Tower card into her spiritual? What is going on with the divine feminine in her spiritual about children? What is going on about children? All right, this one here. Patience. Patience. All right, so here we have a woman, you know, her wings are up. She is knowing her divinity. She is embodying a lot of her sovereignty. She's embodying a lot of her divinity, but she's on the floor. And she's being guided to have patience. Maybe she wants to have children. Maybe spiritually, you know, she feels like completely devastated because she wasn't able to have children. Maybe she wants more children. Maybe, you know, a divorce really created some hardship for her about children. Maybe she is a step parent and, you know, there is difficulty in some sort of fostering of the child, like who's going to have it, which weekend or something like that. And, you know, she's being guided to have patience at this time about this issue. Okay, like really just be patient. You know, it's kind of like go do some yoga. If you need to go do yoga, probably a good time. Like just do something and, you know, surrender, allow yourself just to surrender and trust. You know, we have the trust card in the middle, and to trust that her new relationship will be resolved, and to have patience about the children or the pets or the animals or whatever it is that she's wanting or that's causing some like complete devastation in her life, or a reset for her spiritually. And this could be just like a learning process, something that she's just learning. So she's really guided to be patient about that. And I think that's like a really positive thing, because, you know, all the cards here are actually quite positive. We just have the spiritual realm between the divine masculine and feminine that is really kind of like, okay, you know, we're getting a learning curve here. We are learning to embody our divinity, our soul, our truth, who we are actually supposed to be with. And there are, I would say, a lot of the readers right now that I've tuned into, that I follow, and that, you know, guidance that I've seen around me and relationships and people around me, I definitely feel there is a kind of like a reset spiritually about who you're meant to be with. A lot of people are breaking away from karmic partners. So this could be what's going on as well, that you're really being guided by spirit. You might be judged or having a tower moment to really understand the spiritual nature of your relationship, and that you must be with a partner that is spiritually fulfilling for you. So let's get some more energy cards from moon deck because we just had the eclipses. And so I'm going to get some pulls, just overall energies, just overall energies for the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Just overall energies as well. If you're not in a relationship right now, if you don't feel that anything in this reading resonates for you, really about what's happening internally for people in the collective, what's happening internally in the collective for the divine feminine. What's going on for the divine feminine internally? Okay, the garden and the gates. Beautiful. I love this card. It's basically like the divine feminine is at the gate. She just needs to walk through. She just needs to, she sees like this beautiful garden that she's in, and she sees like this new opportunity, this new love, okay, out there. You know, maybe she hasn't manifested it yet, but generally the divine feminine is at this point where this is the number 30 down to 3. She's really aligning herself to love. She's really aligning herself to the Trinity, number 3. And we're entering 2019, and 2019 equals the number 3. So we're entering a year where we're really bringing heaven to earth because it's the Trinity, bringing the heaven energy and embodying it. So there's a lot of energy right now, and I've noticed this as well in the collective, that is talking about embodiment. So embodiment is, what does that mean? It really means about embodying your soul again, okay? And that is all about embodying a balance of masculine and feminine energies within yourself, and also really being with the right soulmate, your true twin. If you're having a karmic situation that you're ending right now, it's probably very divinely guided, and it's about being with the right person. And it's not to be ashamed of your relationship. Every relationship, when you have a karmic relationship, was meant to happen. Just now you're meant to be with someone else. So if you look at it from the bigger picture, because we're having this astrological reset of the numbers, we're having a 0-point reset, and the 6, which is about lovers, which is the lovers card here. So we're really embodying the reset of the divine masculine and feminine so that they embody their true soulmate, and their true soul is embodied and anchored in their heart and in their body. So we're bringing that heavenly energy, that true soul energy, okay, in our bodies. And this is what I think is going on with the feminine as well. She's, you know, it's like that gate, right? That heaven's gate. And I feel like that's what's happening with her. She might be traveling. If not traveling, she feels like she might be moving, or she sees like the new year with a lot of prosperity. She might be also kind of waiting. And again, that's what the patience is all about. She's patiently waiting to walk into the truth of a new year, of a new love, of her new embodiment. And I think that's really beautiful, divine feminine. So what's going on with the divine masculine energy overall? Divine masculine energy, please. Divine masculine. Divine masculine within, this heavenly balance between feminine and masculine that is healthy, that is healed. Okay, we have the Magician in the mirror. All right, divine masculines and divine masculine energy within. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing what this is. It is about, it's very similar to the Hermit card that we have here. As you can see, it's 2 like older men, wise men with white hair. So the divine masculine is learning to balance his soul with his body. So he's looking at himself in the mirror for the first time. He is learning to see things as they are and the truth now. Like he's really, and that's his emotional body. Okay. And he's really learning how to tune into his emotions. And it came up reversed. So it does also mean that some divine masculines are being tested to now embody their emotions again. Or the divine masculine within ourselves, okay, needs to go in and tune into those emotions again and not fear them. I just posted a random, because I was watching Troy last night, the movie Troy with Brad Pitt and all that. Awesome, classic movie, but I noticed there was this divine feminine masculine energy that came out of that. And I think this is kind of reflective of this energy and the emotions of the divine masculine with the Hermit card and the Magician in the mirror. He's learning to be the magician by seeing himself for who he truly is and how his emotions are so important in his journey again. And he's being tested to do that so that he can manifest, so that he can be in alignment with love again. And what does that mean? So if we talk about the movie Troy, and I give you a bit of an analogy right now because I feel guided that it's really about that. What's so beautiful is that when I expressed it like if we had Helen of Troy and Paris, that relationship, that divine union love relationship, if we had those souls come back to Earth, let's say, what happened in the movie? If anyone doesn't know the movie, I'm going to explain it. So Helen of Troy was supposed to get married with some king in Greece. She fell in love with a prince from like Turkey, which is Troy. And she departed with the prince before her marriage. And the king in Greece was very powerful, very, angry. So he actually started a war and he wanted to take over Troy, which is this place in Turkey. And he started a war with, the princes and the kings of Troy to get his women back because she was considered so beautiful. And what I learned was that in the movie, the prince of Troy, who was in love with Helen and stole her away, wasn't really able to be very masculine dominant. And he was kind of like defeated over and over. And his brother was killed because he was too, he lacked courage to fight against the kings. And he was more of a feminine kind. He really embodied his feminine energy. He really was a masculine that embodied his emotions and wasn't very aggressive. Like he wasn't an aggressive man. He wasn't a man that wanted to like fight and kill and do all these things. He really fought for love. That's what he always was expressing, his desire to fight for the love that he really wanted. And so in the movie, I said, like, imagine those souls came back to Earth and they had to learn to overcome their fear. Helen would have to learn to overcome her fear of being beautiful again because she caused a war because of her beauty. And, a person like that, their soul, if they came back, I'm talking about reincarnation, but I'm just figuratively talking. For a soul like that to come back, she would really be so scared to allow her beauty to be expressed again. And that's like a lesson that maybe the divine feminine is learning. And the divine masculine, I said, Paris would have to overcome his fear of being a lack of courage for being more in tune with his emotions, right? Not that his emotions were wrong. Really, it would be learning that his decisions at that time, in spite of what happened and all the, chaos and the deaths around him, he had to humble himself and be really vulnerable. I think that's why the star card is here. Really naked and vulnerable and tune into his emotions again. And I think that's what this card here means, is that the divine masculine is really going in like the hermit. He's hermiting emotionally because he needs to learn how to balance this again, how to balance not being so aggressive, really tuning into his emotions and tuning into that divine feminine side within him. And he's being kind of judged by this because, you know, he's having to look at himself in the mirror. Like, how many times did he take aggressive actions? How many times did he not tune into his emotions about situations and that kind of thing? So it's really a time of balancing and trusting that the divine helps you and that you will receive the information that you need to allow yourself to embody that divine love. Not to say that men shouldn't be, you know, embodying that kind of like more masculine energy. They still need to embody that masculinity, but it's important to really tune into their emotions about their decisions as well. I think that's what that's really about. So I hope this reading helps people on their journey. I'm going to pick a last overall collective energy with Kuan Yin cards here, the Kuan Yin Oracle. It talks about healing that we can do and what are the healing messages overall for the love collectively for February 2019 for everyone. Holy Spirit. What is a message? Whoa. Okay. The Yin Empress. So the Kuan Yin Oracle says here, the Yin Empress number 40. So it's really about some sort of embodiment. Again, about embodiment of this royalty, this embodiment of divine love in a very trusting way, being very like, you know, very mature, very regal about it. So let's see what the book says, because these definitions are quite miraculous. They provide a lot of healing blessings. So I'm going to post a picture about this later on my Facebook, but I'm just going to read this out. The Yin Empress brings peace, prosperity, and success to her beloved devotees. Your sole purpose includes healing and empowerment of the divine feminine and the Yin Empress herself. You gain power, assistance, and untold blessings in following your sole purpose. You are lifted and supported in your sacred work now. Wow. So yeah, this divine feminine energy is back. It's telling us that both the divine masculine and feminine within us or in your relationship is being called to really step forward into our life purpose, to really be allowing of that feminine energy to be embodied in our decisions and in our choices, and allowing emotions to be expressed and knowing that that is a healthy process. Let's see what else it says. It says here, you are a spiritual leader, a pioneer, a part of what you are here to do for the planet on a soul level, whether you are a man or a woman, to empower the divine feminine, the cosmic empress of yin or divine feminine energies, so that we might live in more balance as a species on the earth. Wow, like it is, she's even talking in this definition about man and women. Whether you are man or woman, it's really about embodying that divine feminine back on the earth. So the divine feminine is only now making her resurgence on this planet, and many do not understand her. Your sacred work, for which you will be richly supported, nourished, and rewarded, is to help live her truth now. In doing so, you are planting seeds of awareness and experience for others to draw from what they too are ready to live in their sacred truth. This will explain why at times you feel that you do not fit in your current culture. You are not meant to, because you are meant to help it grow to change. So yeah, like we have to be very courageous. This divine feminine energy, she's being very courageous in bringing this forward, you know, and the divine masculine too needs to be a supportive ally in this process, knowing that this is a time of change. This is the time of bringing in a new way of a new culture. It's a culture change. So it's going to take time, and sometimes there can be some conflict. So let's see what else is going on here. In the same way that beloved Kuan Yin had a rebellious and compassionate streak and did not fit into the world in the way that it was because she was born to help it heal and ascend, so too does your soul yearn to make a real difference in this world, to help it be free of fear that leads to competition and domination and power struggles, and instead to live from a place of love and peace. Beautiful. The gifts of Yin Empress are experienced through the feminine power, which is assessed through living your heart's truth, your genuine values, and your fierce gentleness. Femininity is not weak, nor it is aggressive. It is a fierce compassion that refuses to descend into judgment. That refuses to descend into judgment. Okay? By masculine. You have to understand, to embody that is, she refuses to descend into judgment. And so allow yourself to be helped in this process, divine masculine. And if it does, rises again to compassion over and over again. Men and women in touch with their feminine power are able to love and have compassion, to be truthful and to honor what really matters to them, whether it fits the contemporary culture values or not. They realize that they are helping to create a new culture with wiser values. Living wiser values. They're a hermit, the wise man, high priestess, wise, intuitive, feminine energy coming into the divine masculine's awareness of having this process and making decisions now in his everyday life. All right. I'm going to drink some water here, some lemon water I had. And it goes on. I'm almost done. They realize that they are helping to create a new culture with wiser values. Living in this way not only feels better and more truthful, it also leads to a successful life with much creativity, positive contribution, personal empowerment, and satisfying relationship, not to mention inspiration for others to draw from so that they too may grow. You are being asked to live in your feminine power now, to be true to who you are, and not to give in to social conditioning that tells you feminine power is not enough. Is that not perfect what I was talking about Troy, the movie Troy and Paris? To overcome his femininity, his decisions that were feminine. But if he came back, would he feel guilty about that? Would he feel ashamed? No. He would stand up again for love and compassion, regardless, knowing, there was a lot of conflict around him in that situation. A lot of people died because of his decisions to be with a woman that he loved and to embody his emotions and not to be aggressive all the time. It'd be hard, but it's time for us to do that. And it's time for masculines to do that. It's really time to balance that within ourselves and overcome social conditioning, right? Social conditioning can be so incredibly, difficult because we're releasing, family, we're releasing friends, we're releasing jobs that may not align to love. And, we might feel judged about it, but we're getting help. We're getting help. Masculine's getting help and feminine's being told to be patient. And so that's beautiful. So your beliefs of your compassion to get ahead or come on top. You do not have to live that way. You're being empowered to live from your heart and to realize that this is not only enough. It is a blessing for all. The Yin Empress thanks you for your loving devotion and service to her and shines blessings upon you now. Beautiful. And then there's a healing message here and invocation with Kuan Yin. I'll mention it right now in the video. So if anyone wants to do this meditation later, I'll mention the description below. This is the Onion Oracle with Alana Fairchild, by Alana Fairchild. So prayer to the Yin Empress, if you feel guided to do this. Divine Yin Empress, Mother of Compassion, Kuan Yin, Om Namaha, peace, grace, love, and feminine power, infuse your being within my heart now. May I be a vessel of grace and healing of the divine feminine. May I live my soul truth on this planet. May fear and anger be softened with love. May I find the true nature of my spiritual power. And may I align with you, beloved, into the eternal grace of divine love. My devotion to the Empress and her wish for all beings to be spiritually free grows in my heart now. I receive your love and protection. Om Mani Padme Hum. Beautiful. So, that is a beautiful prayer and invocation of the Yin Empress, to bringing in that divine femininity again, to really bringing in that loving energy. Let's get a final message. This is more of a feminine message. So I'm going to get from the Jesus deck, perhaps a divine masculine message and healing message from the Jesus deck here with Yeshua. Yeshua, do you have some wisdom to shine upon the divine feminine and masculine for February 2019 for the collective? Yeshua, Yeshua, Yeshua. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Beautiful. All right. So he says here, peace I leave with you. Peace, my peace I give unto you. So, what I'm getting here is really, this loving. Like it's just super loving. Like I don't know. Jesus is when he, Yeshua of Nazareth comes in and he really comes in and says, peace I give unto you. My peace I give unto you. He says that with so much peace. And, Kuan Yin was saying about that peace in the healing prayer and invocation as well, to really bring back that peaceful energy inside of us, that divine harmony and balance, and that divine harmony in our relationships. And so that we may walk into that truly loving relationship, that truly loving soulmate relationship, whether or not the time is right now for you, or it's going to be another time in your life. Yeshua comes in and says, peace I give unto you. My peace peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you. So he's just saying, the divine feminine is speaking in a way to make things peaceful, finally, on the planet. And this might take time, right? As we knew that we are going to be the way showers of embodying divine feminine power, embodying divine feminine wisdom and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of going to be a new process for people to change. And so some of us have to really be the pioneers in that process, but we are going to be given the peace. We are going to be guided. The divine feminine power is always guided. She is always protected in her spiritual realm, no matter what happens, even if there's a tower moment. She has this divine way to bring peace, and so does the divine masculine. And I think that's a beautiful message to really understand that once we allow people to be heard, when we allow the divine feminine to work through us, we have a lot more peace in our lives. Peace and grace, compassion, all those kind of things, which is so beautiful. And divine love, finally, that divine love of harmony and all that is just so beautiful. So I wish everyone a beautiful February. I will be doing videos coming up for each of the astrological signs. So every sign in the Zodiac, Aries, Taurus, Gemini. And I'm going to be doing love readings for everybody as a special this month because this is the complete zero point, a complete reset point. And I felt really guided to do a little bit of extra work as much as I can, regardless of what's happening in my personal life right now, to really bring some guidance for people, to bring some healing messages, and to see things from a bigger perspective of how we can move forward and align to love, which is my kind of, I guess, new year business marketing strategy, not marketing strategy, but yeah, like it's really kind of like a reminder all the time for all of us and for myself to align to love all the time and to bring that divine harmony, returning the divine feminine, and having peace in our lives finally. So thank you again for tuning in. It's getting a little long. So I wish everyone lots of love. I hope this collective reading helped you on your journey. And again, I will be slowly providing birth chart reports and selling and offering my services as an astrologer to read your personal birth chart, which is my Starlight Eureka package. What that offers is a beautiful kind of blueprint of your soul. And I offer people a very intuitive and personalized astrological report that isn't from the computer. It's not a computerized report. It's very intuitive. I have to take a lot of time to do each person. And so that's why the cost of doing a professional coaching package with your astrology report is more costly than some, because I am doing a lot of personal report for you and predictions for your life for 2019. So those will be coming out soon, and I will be offering those packages very shortly. They provide people basically like eureka moments in their journey. They provide people more guidance and more courage and more intuitive strengths about knowing who they are, what they're here to do, and what their year will be like, and really giving you some divine guidance on your journey to elevate your healing process and to jump a timeline, basically. Like you're going to quantum jump after an astrological report with me and a coaching session. You will get, it's a form of healing, but it's not a direct healing modality. It is a form of healing, though, that I provide people through those astrological reports and coaching sessions. So those will be coming out soon. I will be doing love readings for this month of February for all the Zodiac signs. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Starlight Coach, and I wish everyone lots of love and blessings. Take care.